Hi, it's Xavier, and welcome to my bonsai retreat. And in between yet more thunderstorms, I'm going to do some of the boring drudgery. That doesn't mean it's boring and drudgerous for you. It just means you get to see some of the other stuff I do that maybe, well, actually, let's be honest, we all have to do it. The dreaded weeding. Here, he says, ow. Here, I've got some of my planting beds. So we're going to have a look at this first one, and I've got in here a combination of sycamores. Looks like mainly sycamores, but behind here there is also a hazel, and I know that featured in a video early last year. Someone wanted to know about it, so let's get in close and have a look, and let's cut most of this stuff off, shall we? I love the growing beds. It gives me another opportunity to put stuff in that people often donate to me. So first thing is, I've got some really low stuff down here which I probably want to get rid of. So let's just clean out down here first. Got a very, very low branch down here. Just looking if the height isn't going to go much above here. Let's remove some of this top stuff. Natural fat might be a good place there. Where I've got large leaves. Cut them, do some leaf cutting, and that's it. And all the way back, 2 branches, reduce the leaf, and then we can come back in here. Much lower branch. Could probably go back all the way, to be fair. In fact, that's what I'm going to do. There's a little bud back here. The height is that, so there's no point having a branch here that's actually going to be higher than where we're going on the tree. So we'll take that all the way back. These bud back brilliantly, so I'll be happy with that. We've got this great big branch here which is so long, we'll cut it all the way back there. We've got this branch here. This is probably quite long actually in terms of how much there is for there's a bud, but it's the lowest branch. So I'm going to cut it back to there. And that, I think, is all I'm going to do on this little hazel. It's going to be a nice little tree, this. Hopefully you can see there. Good movement, and I'll leave it in that bed. I know there's loads of roots coming out the bottom. Now we're going to do that. So, we've done the hazel. Now we want to have a look at this. This has been trimmed quite a few times, and is actually... got a, you won't be able to see I'm sure, but it's got the double, this horrible U on it, which is great for sheep, but it's not so good for bonsai, I don't think. So we've got this slingshot look about it, and what I'm going to do is try something different. I'm actually going to cut these back. There's actually buds on either side here and here. So what I might try and do is let's cut all the leaves off. If I can cut all the leaves off, then this makes it a good bonsai, doesn't it? So having cut the best part of a foot off this, we've got this little probably 9 inches, which when you think about it in terms of the thickness of the trunk, which is probably twice a HB pencil, allows us to at least make a realistic look of taper. And we were already looking at showing, so it's never going to be taller than this. And if I was honest, why wouldn't I be honest? I will probably remove this branch here at some point. So I'm going to move on to these ones and see what we do with them. Now this one's actually this one's quite easy. I might actually go harder on that. Get rid of some big leaves. That's it. That's a little one there. Shall I come back when I finish them? Because I don't think the world is ready to be watching my drooping tummy all over the place. Now I did come back because I just realised I've got an ash in here, and we know how much. In fact, this has got an ash and 2 sycamores in it, so who knows, maybe we'll get a little forest group. Better than Forrest Gump. But Ash is no different. The key is again is to, let's get rid of some of this out of the way. These are getting in the way. Let's just juice some of these sycamore leaves so I can actually see what's going on with this ash. There's a basic structure that goes up around here, up to about here, so we need to immediately get that off. And if we know this is going to be the height, let's cut these all back. I'm leaving the basic leaf structure on, but I've got 2 leaves there. In fact, I've got 2 leaves there as well, so I'll go back to those. And then we're going to come back to single junctions at this point in the year. Oh, looks like the rain's coming again. So, that's me with the ash done. We'll get these 2 done, and then we'll come back, because I think it's going to rain on you. Okay, so I'm literally just getting to the last few kickings on this, and the rain is now starting to fall, so let's have a look. The key is to remember that you want to keep these short. So anywhere where we've got obvious conflictions we will remove. That's looking nice. This one we've got like 1, 2, 3 sets of growth going up, so we'll cut right back. Down here, I'm not sure how well you can see it, but that's turning to an interesting division of 3 trunks there. So let's just cut back to what we're doing is trying to get some taper going. Got Jane coming, and I think she's brought the rain with her from up north, so we'll say hello to Jane hopefully. And I do believe that is that little bed done. So I've just done that bed there. I've got some lovely looking trees there for the future, and believe it or not, in here I think there's actually some definitely some Chinese elm in here, but sometimes I lose track of whether or not I've got anything in these beds. So I'm going to weed this out. Who here really wants to see me weed things out? No, and he doesn't, I know that. Don't know if you remember, I did root on rock ficus way back. In fact, there's the link there. He's looking pretty good actually. So yeah, got my little ficuses down here. It's outside the back door. But I'll weed all that, and then I'll come back to you. But do you know what? While I'm weeding this, why don't we go to a lovely little message from my darling children.
My dad is great. You all know that. You watch his videos. He talks and talks and talks for hours, and sometimes you know what he's saying, and sometimes you really don't. But you listen anyway because, well, you've got nothing better to do. Anyway, I really like his videos, except he sent me rock hunting this holiday, whatever. So, all the effort and work I put in, you better like, subscribe. There's a bell somewhere that you need to ring, and leave a comment, preferably telling him that he works his daughters too hard.
And the other thing I've done is I've been weeding out my Satsuki azalea cuttings. They were taken last year, I think, or the year before, but I've got a load there and a very big pile in there, so they're done well. But I've weeded this all out. They're just gonna whoops take 2. Then Buddhist pine, podocarpus. I hate them, but I've got them. Hiya, well, I'm back. I've had a lovely 2 hours with Jane. I thought it was going to be Roger. Roger's the other half, and he's down south at home. He doesn't know that Jane bought some bonsai. In fact, she bought a lot of bonsai. She made me feel very, very good today. More importantly, I've weeded all this out. Got my ficus in here, I've got some Chinese elm in here, and generally it's back to be looking pretty good, so I'm really happy with that. Got to go down to the Chinese elm factory at the bottom of the garden because it's an absolute mess, and I know that because one of the things that Jane did get was one of my sort of 3-4 year old cuttings and a cotoneaster, but she did, bless her, she bought one of my Satsuki azaleas. I'm looking forward to seeing how that gets on because she's promised that she's going to show me and send some pictures up. And she got a lovely sort of Yamadori larch that I still haven't styled. So if I haven't styled it yet, that means it's actually got a pretty good chance of looking like a bonsai at the end of it. So we're looking forward to that. Got a few other things. I can't remember what else. There was oak. Got a nice big oak. So that's good. But anyway, I just encourage anyone else who really fancies having a It's only a good hour walk around my back garden retreat. You won't be disappointed. There's loads here, and though I struggle to sell them because I tell such great stories about them all, I will. The only stuff I don't sell now is stuff that people like to watch on the channel. So yeah, you're coming down the A1 just off the Grantham Turn-On. It is literally 5 minutes, and I'm always welcome. And I've even got one of these little machines that goes beep, and when it goes beep, apparently it takes money off you. I think that's fantastic. So oh, do you want to see how my elderberry are looking, by the way? They haven't, well, they did flower. I haven't got any elderberries off them. They're still alive. I'll zoom down. Yeah, so as I said, it flowered, but very, very interesting. Not sure quite how it becomes a bonsai. And there's the other one there. So yeah, just as a teaser, that one there above it is that silver birch, courtesy of Ryan from Horton Bonsai. I think those roots must be developing, mate, because there's lots of foliage on there. Anyway, enjoy. Today, I've got to keep on going because I need to get all the trees crammed into here, because I'm finally going to get the tree surgeons in to remove all the branches that those dastardly birds are pooing on me from. But that means I need to clear all this first. Journey to share me in this weeding journey, but perhaps we'll come back after I've done it in about 9 days' time. Well, the trusty bobcat rake hook comes in useful for weeds as well. Getting into these really nasty clumps of grass. But I suppose the only thing I find is that every year that I do it, it just gets a little bit easier and a little less weed infested. But we've got that so far. I've just got to keep doing it. I'm going to be laying some more footboards and stuff. But yeah, well, got all this stuff down here done, and I've cooked. I've put some more boards down over there. So they're the boards, just running them down the side there. So I've got at least some clean feet when I'm looking at the stuff around there. Whoa. And as for the rest, well, as you see, all dug up, everything in place, and I'm hoping that as each year goes, it's going to get easier and easier to control that. The weeds are certainly not getting as deep as they were last year. But yeah, loads of work still to do. I just thought it'd be important if you have a look 4 weeks after I did that pruning, to see all that wonderful growth. But all this growth coming through, lovely fronds, and what I'm looking for is all the new stuff that's on here. There's some new ones back here, some new ones back here. If we check lower down here, we've got all those lovely new fronds there that are growing. So I'm looking for those to extend, and then I'll be able to do cuts later in the year, remove all this, and I'll have all this growth a lot closer in. But for now, I'm just going to let it go. And there's the silver birch. It's now doing very, very well. Just up there, I've wired that leader, and I've also wired the other one out into a lower branch as well. So that's well on its way to replacing what was lost last year. Anyway, I think I need to get back to some digging. But before we do, we really have to look at my main Dawn Redwood. All those lovely, lovely fronds of growth that are there. That's what I was pruning for, all of these. And I could choose to cut them back, but now I just want them to put lots of energy, and I want to observe just how this extra growth works for later in the year. Okay, well, it's 4 o'clock. I've been all day at this, and I've finished for now. This area is now sorted out, so we've got everything down. I mean, it's all a mess still, to be honest. But I've got a nice bit of bark down there. I can get to the trees easily enough. I've cleaned the path out here, and then I've still got to sort that area out. I'm probably just there going to put all my junipers that are ready to be done. So I need to do something like this normally twice a year. Phew, I'm absolutely shard. So I'm just going to put the the junipers there, and then we're done. So, from Xavier, in part of my bonsai retreat, feeling just a little bit hot and bothered. Happy that I've got so much done. No trees done, but you've got to see a little bit in pieces. But do you know what? This too is the reality of life doing bonsai. You don't keep your weeds in check, then they just strangle your trees. And it's also a great opportunity just to have a look at the weeds that are in some of the stuff that you don't look at often. So I've got a big blister as well. Terrible. So from Xavier, my bonsai retreat, a couple of hours away from having my my brilliant children back from their 4 days in Snowdon. Apparently it went really well. I'll say thanks for taking the time to watch. If you didn't watch, well, you missed, and then you've missed me thanking you. But yeah, if you like this, please hit like, because believe it or not, the algorithm really likes me to say that. And till I see you next time, God bless. Cheers.